The biggest myth about Tesla is that it's just a car company. I'm Brian. Welcome to my Tesla Weekend. A quick welcome to new and upgrading patrons, Nigel, Andy, Anthony, and John. Your support for the channel means I don't have to chase the algorithm, and it means a lot to me. I thank you so much. So I reached out on Twitter and asked folks, what misconceptions are you sick of hearing? And one of them was that it's just a car company. Is it? Investors conclude that Tesla is not a tech firm. Share price rout suggests they no longer think it will take over the world. Well, there's a problem with this, of course. This was written on January 4th, and since then the stock price has almost doubled. But is it just a car company? Is it more than that? Well, I would argue it is. This article from Tasmanian has a image that was tweeted out by VM_11, who I cannot find on Twitter. But look at all these startups wrapped in one. Let's talk about them and see if any of those are ones that you would invest in if they were separate. Cars, trucks, semi. We got cars and trucks. Get it. Got it. Good. But semi? Well, Nikola has a market cap of $11-12 billion, and they hardly sell any trucks at all, but they are still quite promising. So maybe they are a semi-truck company. Nikola's only projecting 250 to 350 units next year, maybe 500 if things go really well. That's not great. Tesla will make that many as soon as they're ramped, the technology's in place, and it works, and it looks to be the best semi out there, which would give you a market cap larger than that. Tesla Service, the dealer network, if that were spun off, would you buy it? It would be the largest car dealer in the country, maybe in the world. It's worth money. As these cars come out of warranty, they're going to need repairs that are not free. So it actually helps. There's a lot of value there. Some of the land they might own, some of the buildings they might own. But if it were spun out as its own thing, you might invest in it. Seats, now this is a small one. They're worth maybe millions, but it's helpful because they're not just a car company. Their commitment to vertical integration makes them so much more than that. But here's where it starts getting exciting. Infotainment. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto would be the competitors, but really every car company is trying to make their own in-car infotainment, and it's hard. Is there money in it? For sure. If this were spun out as its own company, would you buy it? A lot of people would, depending on the market cap. Now, what we're looking at here, is there any revenue in it? A little bit. There's, the premium connectivity that you can buy. But more than that, there's the future of connectivity. They announced a while back that in 2030, they'll begin charging for connectivity. It'll probably be $10 a month. But in 2030, there's going to be millions and millions of cars. This could easily be 20, 30, 50 million a month in revenue, which gives you a market cap of over $1 billion at a PE of even 10. FSD chip and Dojo chip. This is where it's exciting to me. Making world-class chips is very difficult. Designing chips is very difficult. China has been dedicated to making world-class chips now for 20 years, and they haven't accomplished what Tesla has in just a few short years. Tesla poached talent from the biggest chip manufacturers, chip designers and manufacturers, to design their own in-house chips, and what they've got are industry-leading in terms of capacity, capability, connectivity, processing power, and they're all purpose-built. If the chip design arm was spun out, would you buy it? There's no other car company that designs chips like this. None. Zero. And nobody could effectively get into that business without 5 to 10 years to hopefully catch up to where Tesla is. At that point, it's going to be a tough race. Autopilot and Vision Tech, we've seen some of the valuations these companies get, the autonomous ones. They're not as lofty as they used to be, but it's still a big division, and it's still a very valuable prospect. Whoever gets first to market with level 4 or level 5 is going to be a trillion-dollar company. And if Tesla gets there, years after the competition, they're still going to be number one. If they're 3 years late and all they have to do is flip a switch or swap out a chip to make it happen, they're going to have millions of units on the road that can capably do levels 4 and 5 while the competition's still ramping up, still trying to figure out what they're doing. And the other companies don't have the same vertical integration, don't have the same design first principles approach that would allow them to seamlessly integrate quickly and easily. Tesla Insurance? Well, General Motors has announced they're looking to get into it, but they don't have the same data that Tesla does, and they're the first to try and do it. Tesla's already available in over a dozen states, and it's getting bigger. They've got better data, better analytics, better metrics, apart from in California where it's prohibited. The insurance division alone would be worth money. And if it were spun out, it wouldn't be as big as Geico or Progressive today, but it will be in the future. Because Tesla can price according to risk in ways that the other guys can't. They can get the cream of the crop and leave the unsafe drivers to Geico and Progressive, who are going to have to increase rates accordingly. The App Store, again, no value in that today. I'd still value it in the many's of millions on future potential, but it's not there. Robotaxi, well, if it happens, it's going to crush. Now let's get into some more exciting stuff. The superchargers. Tesla has the largest and most reliable charging network in the world. And now it's going to be open to everybody. Electrify America, ChargePoint, EVgo, those guys all are worth good money, serious money. And should they be? We've got big money in the IRA coming up that's going to pay for companies to install chargers. And nobody has the capacity to build them as quickly as Tesla does. It's going to be a big deal. Gas stations are getting on board, especially the larger service stations like travel centers, because they want people to come inside for 20 minutes, get some food, get a snack, buy a charger or a cable or a hat. This is money and it's going to work. Solar panels and tiles, well, I wouldn't buy that if it spun off. It's facing challenges they didn't expect, but it's still worth something. And it's something that the other companies aren't doing. Power walls, oh my goodness. This is a huge, huge value just as a retail item before we even get into the second benefit, which would be things like auto bidder, where you get either a fee or a percentage of the arbitrage of people buying and selling their own power to help the grid. And then grid services, the mega packs, those are huge. I've got a whole video about it, and others do as well. But they're already in a position where they can replace about a peaker plant every week or two, and the time on that is going to be cut in half soon, as their factory in Lathrop, California continues to ramp. It's a big deal. And batteries of their own. So Tesla buys from all the big boys, LG, Panasonic, Samsung has a pilot line, and BYD in China, I believe. Yes. And there may be rumors of BYD blade batteries going into standard range vehicles in Berlin, but we haven't seen confirmation. But they're making their own batteries. The 4680. These are ramping quickly. They're being made, 3D print, not an actual one, but that's the size. They're being made in Berlin, in Texas, and in Nevada, and at the Cato Road facility in California. Tesla will soon be one of the world's largest lithium-ion battery manufacturers. Certainly in the top 10, maybe in the top 5, depending how it goes. And then there's other stuff. Manufacturing, vertical integration, helpful. Marketing, helpful. Elon Twitter, fan base. Automation is a big one. And internal enterprise software. Do you know they don't buy software? the way other companies do. A lot of companies have to license software. They have to license an Office suite like Microsoft Office for every single employee. Well, they've got 100,000, 130,000 employees. Even at $10 a month, that's 1.3 million. That's a lot of money, man. So they just designed their own software in-house, all of it. Inventory management, email, you name it. That alone is worth money. If it spun out into its own enterprise software company, would you buy it? I'd argue you probably would. So thanks as always to my amazing patrons who get early access, bonus content, an ad-free experience in many cases, and to help keep the channel running, all that good stuff. I thank you guys for your support. It means the world to me. And if you're going to be in Texas on Wednesday, maybe check out our investor pregame. It's going to be awesome. We've got Ellie in Space. We've got Alexandra Mertz. We've got Tesla Herbert. And a couple of surprise guests might be in there. We've got all the drone pilots. We've got free pizza and soft drinks. It's going to be amazing. So if you're in Austin, this is a pregame. This goes on from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Not during the event, not after the event, just during the day. It's going to be a beautiful weather, so I hope you get a chance to check it out. So what did I miss or misunderstand? Leave me all your thoughts in them comments. Stay tuned, stay juicy, and I can't wait to hear from you clever robots on Investor Day.